So I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to get the government out of your stomach because it is limiting your choices as a consumer and is costing you money. I'm here to speak about food freedom, specifically what's going on with the GMO fight right now. How many of you are familiar with GMO? Show of hands. Good, so we've got a pretty good crowd here. For those of you who aren't familiar, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. And basically it's the fusion of science and of agriculture. They've used some tools in science to develop crops that require less water, are more resistant to drought, to pests, and require less soil, enhanced food quality. But for some reason the left has had a problem with this and has developed a labeling law against GMOs. One of the big things and one of the reasons why they want to label it is they have this pre-cooked up conception that GMOs are not safe. Now, I hate to break it to you, but we've been genetically modifying crops for over 10,000 years. As soon as we started domesticating crops and forcibly crossbreeding plants together, we've been genetically modifying foods. The World Health Organization, the American Medical Association, the FDA have all deemed them perfectly safe, the same as any other kind of food. And 70% of the food in the grocery store that you eat has at least one genetically modified ingredient in it. I mean, it's so predominant now, it'd be like taking bacon and requiring that to be labeled non-kosher. I mean, you know, it's just there. People know it's there. So why do they continue to push for these genetically modified organism labels? Because the industry does not believe in the free market. Rather than advocating for their products on their own, they're trying to use government and they're trying to use other policies to distort the market and pick winners and losers. In 2007, Obama, when he was then candidate Obama, made a pledge to take action on GMOs, saying that consumers have a right to know what's in their food. Activists are currently trying to push through an executive order in the FDA that would declare GMOs material information that must be disclosed. Despite the fact that there is definitive science that there is no danger from GMOs, the left continues to try to harp on and push on these false and not present dangers. Consumers and taxpayers will ultimately be the ones that have to foot the bill for these efforts. States would have to spend millions of dollars to ensure that food is inspected and meeting these new requirements. I shudder to think there may be even a new state or federal agency created to force these standards as bureaucrats are sent on farms and supermarkets and other places, making sure that the labels are being met. And consumers will have to pay more because not only will we have to pay more in packaging costs, that these new labeling and packaging costs that farmers and manufacturers have had to adopt, non-GMO crops cost more to grow. So that it'll be passed along in increased food costs as well. Now, if there's a true market demand there, corporations, these companies will come and meet that occasion. Think of what the soft drink industry did with the calorie labeling on beverages. And some of these companies have actually started meeting together and talking about developing voluntary labeling standards if they see that there's a demand in the marketplace. So that the marketplace will take care of that. We do not need the government to step in and do this. Thank you very much.